Mystery is one of the key factors to any story. It's the driving force. We are given a question about a situation affecting a character and wanting to know what happens to them. Look at any story and you can basically boil it down to a simple question. What happens when a teenager discovers he's gay? How does order deal with absolute chaos? What happens when a teenage girl discovers her classmate is a sexy vampire? Good stories find a way to execute those questions with great characters, pacing, and reveals to keep you invested and fall in love with the story. Others, though... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into The Maze Runner, the first of the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. Imagine you wake up in a dark room, moving to an unknown destination. You try to remember who you are. My name is Thomas, he thought. That was the only thing he could remember about his life. Everything else about your life is now a blur, a mishmash of images with no meaning. Then the room stops. The doors open, and you are greeted by other teenage boys your age. They lift you out to an open field, walled off by 4 gigantic walls with 4 gigantic doors. Nice to meet you, Shank, the boy said. Welcome to the Glade. Naturally, an event like this would leave our hero Thomas scared and wanting answers, to know what is going on, to understand what is happening. Which is why everyone in the Glade is an asshole to him. Whacker, if we told you everything, you'd die on the spot, right after you clunked your pants. Backers drag you off, and you ain't no good to us then, are ya? Dude, he's asking basic questions. He's entitled to some basic answers. You, of all people, should know that, you piece of clunk. I don't even know what you're talking about, Thomas said slowly. I like this guy. As we slowly learn with Thomas, it turns out no one knows why they are here. Every one of them has lost their memory before entering the Glade. The only thing they do know is that outside those doors is a gigantic maze. The doors close off at night to keep out the Grievers, your worst nightmare incarnate, giant robot spiders. And the maze always changes by the next day. There is only one thing everyone wants to do, get out of the maze. But with Thomas's arrival, things change for the Gladers. For one, some of them seem to know Thomas beforehand. I've seen you before. Something's fishy about you showing up here, and I'm gonna find out what. Thomas himself finds that he feels comfortable within the maze. Something out there. It feels familiar. And then, to add the cherry on top of this mystery sundae, they get a special gift the next day. It's a girl, he said, bringing with her a mysterious note. She's the last one, ever. Oh, she is so screwed! Metaphorically and literally. Oh, don't give me that look. They're a bunch of teenage boys. What do you think they're going to do? And that's the basic premise of The Maze Runner. Teenage boys trying to get out of a seemingly impossible maze with deadly nightmare fuel hunting them down. It's not a bad idea. It's a simple concept that works to draw us in, filling us with questions of what is going on in the world to have this happen to young boys. And it's not hard to see the metaphor here. As Thomas sees, the boys all have jobs to do to keep them busy as they try to figure out the maze. When Thomas enters the mix, he starts asking questions that 1, they already know, or 2, would disrupt the order of the Glade. That's a major theme of the book, aside of the obvious Lord of the Flies influence. Do the Gladers keep toiling away safely behind a giant wall to keep the monsters out that leads them nowhere but keeps them happy? Or do they take the risk Thomas asked, which could lead them closer to the truth, but might kill some of them by the horrors outside and beyond? Why does this sound familiar? What do you know? The book does a fair job setting up the stakes with disturbing consequences. Mainly, what happens when a boy gets stung by a griever and has to undergo the changing. It's Actually, one of the most disturbing things I've read in a while. A twisted, pale figure, withering in agony, chest bare and hideous. Tight, rigid cords of sickly green veins webbed across the boy's body and limbs, like ropes under his skin. Purple bruises cover the kid. Red eye blood. Of course, the big driving force is the mystery. The book is filled with Thomas asking questions that we, the audience, are asking. How could such a structure exist? And more importantly, why? What could possibly be the purpose of such a thing? Why were they all there? How long had they been there? All are good questions you'd hope Thomas would discover as he learns more trying to become a runner. And does he? No! Here's the thing. The book has been compared as The Hunger Games meets Lost. That's a very accurate comparison because this book embraces all of the worst aspects of Lost. Like Lost, the Maze Runner is filled with many questions but likes to dick around, never answering them. A lot of the book is of Thomas asking questions but only getting a vague, mysterious response. And what little bits we do learn don't add too much either. The questions that do get answered in the book are purely cosmetic. There are hardly any big revelations, which does not make sense. The Maze Runner is the setup book. The maze is a product out of whatever is happening to the world. While I wasn't expecting any big answers to be revealed, I was hoping it would help set up what was and will be happening to Thomas and the gang, giving me a satisfying conclusion, but enough mystery left over to keep me invested. And what happens when they get to the big climax? The moment when you hope to get answers? What does the book do?
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
I am not kidding. We are only given some more vague answers. Stuff happens, and then it sets up the sequel, leaving us on a to-be-continued ending. And that sucks. And on top of that, the characters are just flat. I know nothing about them. And no, stop right there, Maze Runner fan, about to write, how can you learn about them when they don't know themselves? I get where you're coming from, but let me ask you a simple question. What do we know about the Gladers? What do we know about Thomas? What arc does Thomas go through? Can you name a single character that actually goes through any meaningful development? Out of all those questions, I can only think of Miho as he goes from being a nihilistic, we're all gonna die, to a courageous, we have to do something. Other than that, nothing. The characters only have basic traits that stay the same throughout. Why? Because if you want to learn the truth, you'll have to buy the sequels. What's going on in the world? Buy the sequels. Who is Thomas and the kids? Buy the sequels. What was the reason behind the maze? Buy the goddamn sequels.
Shut up and take my money!
And here's the thing. I want to like this book. Teenage me would have loved this book. I don't think it's all that bad. It does find ways to keep you invested to see what happens next, but it never pays off until you pay for the sequels. I should know. I was there when Lost was a huge TV phenomenon, theorizing, discussing, waiting at the edge of my seat as I was dragged from mystery after mystery after mystery after mystery, only to learn that it was a simple answer that they pulled out of their ass. I don't know how the Maze Runner ends, but I've already been down this road before, and it's looking like James Dashner is pulling the same mystery box crap. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the sequels reveal more and will be a transcendental experience. If so, then cross my heart, I'll take back everything I say here. But until that time, the Maze Runner is a waste of time. Just like Lost. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about the Maze Runner? If you have a book you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below. Next time, after almost 2.5 years, and October just around the corner, we will be finally talking about the King of Horror. Till next time, have a nice day. Hey, you guys still around after I trashed a popular YA series? That's awesome! Glad to know you respect my opinion, so I have a little thing for you. A while back, a group of friends and I worked on a web series called Interrogation, a little web series about a group of rebels fighting against an oppressive government. How is that any different from any other thing right now? Well, it features a cast of badass women, handicaps, and races kicking each other's butts. Yes, I'm good friends with the creator, and she asked me to promote it, but it was a great experience, and I would love if you guys check them out. The episodes are short, so you can marathon the whole series in like half an hour. She's recently been doing some experimenting on her channel doing reviews of movies, games, and anime with her characters in the world. And if you look at the anime ones, you might see a familiar face. It's me. Links will be down below as well as around here somewhere. Thank you all for your time. I'll see you next week, and remember to have a nice day.